What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 166 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, dude?
We're back together again for first time in a hot minute.
Look, it hasn't been that long, has it?
I think
like
I missed one,
week, right?
And then you missed one.
That can't be accurate, is it?
They're within about a month of each other, so we've kind of been dodging each other here lately.
Huh. I mean, you're probably right, but...
Like, as the guy who edits them, I think it's within a month of each other. It's like 163 was the Ballard ad episode.
And 165 was Angie.
Yeah. So,
okay, so it's been like 2 weeks.
We've kind of just been trading off.
Yeah. Well, you know, life catches up to you, man, and,
yeah.
you know, it is
Tell
what
me
it
about
is.
it.
But we're back. Things are good. Things
VGC
are fun.
events are going again after the April spring break thingy that they always tend to do for some reason.
Well, yeah.
Portland was an awesome event to watch. If you missed it, I recommend go back and check out the VODs on YouTube. They're great.
I actually have not watched a single thing about anything yet.
I watched...
And, like, no particular reason. I just haven't.
I watched Top 8 because that's all I had a chance to actually watch. Shout-outs. Joe UX9 got their win, finally.
That he did.
Fun fact, they're the win. Joe was the guy who won Portland last time they had a regional there.
Interesting.
So Joe is back-to-back Portland regional champions.
That's actually really cool. That is genuinely really cool.
The team he brought was really spicy. A lot of the teams are starting to branch out, which is really good, in my opinion, for the healthy Regulation C format. The fact that we're trying to find other stuff outside of Palafin Balance is good, because it's fun having a best team, but when everyone kind of pilots the best thing, it kind of gets boring. And I think that's what happened to a lot of people. And so now we're branching out into newer teams and cooler teams, and we'll talk about all of that here in a minute.
I'm looking for the data from the last event. And I don't know... What was the last event we had? 'Cause we had Lab Mouse data for it, too.
EUIC.
Was it EUIC?
Yeah, it was the last Pokemon event.
Was that me? And yeah, there we go. Okay. So, looking at this, EUIC, Tim's data isn't complete on this one. Dang it. Let's see. Top pairing was Amoonguss Fluttermane.
That didn't
which
change.
Is accurate here. Okay, let's do it this way. Perfect. I swear I am well prepared.
Sure you are.
EUIC had Arc Fluttermane as second, which is third here.
By one. Let me rephrase it. It is third by one pairing.
But there's a bunch of Chi-Yu.
People figured out that Fluttermane Chi-Yu on like most teams is good.
Yeah. It is.
One of the things I started goofing around on Showdown with is like this weird Fluttermane Chi-Yu amalgamation that someone shared in the Discord. I don't remember their name now at the top of my head. They were working on a team for something, and I played a couple games with it. It's like, oh, I don't like this. Let's change this and this and this. And so now I have a completely different team, but it still has that Fluttermane Chi-Yu special attacking core with like a redirector and nasty plot Chi-Yu, and it looks to just beat people down, and it's great.
Chi-Yu's partnership here on Pikalytics, 71% Fluttermane.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
The next highest, 35% bundle.
Also not surprised, really. You'd
and then
be
you know,
surprised. Not surprised there.
Dozo's on here really high?
That's because the common core of Fluttermane, Chi-Yu, Glamora is almost always the Dondozo team. So you play Dondozo Tatsugiri with it, and then whatever you want in your 6th slot. Sometimes it's bundle, sometimes it's something else.
So, looking at the Pikalytics data, and then looking at second place, we just talked about it.
Yeah, that is the standard Dondozo team. That is strictly Dondozo. That is what every Dondozo team looks like for the most part.
Yeah, it just made me laugh that, we're over here talking through just partners, and it's like, oh yeah, these other 5.
That's why it's so high, right?
Yeah.
This is the squad. It's like we have the very strong leads of Fluttermane, Chi-Yu, Fluttermane, Glamora, Glamora, Chi-Yu, Bundle Chi-Yu, Bundle Fluttermane. All those special attacking cores are very strong together. And then you just back it all up with Dondozo Tatsugiri. And so your opponent has to be able to answer any 4 of your special attackers plus Dozo Giri.
So interestingly, looking at most popular teams, and there are 7 out of 469 players. 7 people who brought Chi-Yu, Dozo Giri, Dragonite, Glamora, and Fluttermane. Bundle. And the only difference between that and the second place team is they have Fluttermane over Dragonite here.
Yep, it's Dragonite for Fluttermane.
Weird. It's weird to me that there's more people playing a version of it's weird to me that more people are playing Dragonite on that team as opposed to Fluttermane.
So
most likely what it is Bundle is probably the thing that is different on most of them. I don't know. It's interesting.
So the big difference between the Dragonite ones and the Fluttermane ones, Fluttermane is an adaptation to win that matchup harder against a Dondozo mirror because Fluttermane has a better matchup into Dragonite than opposing Dragonite does. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just you're looking to shore up that matchup even more. Dondozo has a hard time dealing with Fluttermane naturally outside of getting lucky with a bundle plus Chi-Yu double up.
Mm-hmm.
And so just playing your own Fluttermane, solves your Fluttermane problem really well. Because Dragonite almost never gets brought to the Fluttermane matchup ever. And 2, it solves a lot of your other miserable matchup options because Fluttermane's Ghost Fairy coverage just hits everything.
Yep.
Who knew Ghost and Fairy is a very strong type combo? Who'd have thunk it?
So I guess we can talk about these actual top 8 teams. I know you talked about Joe winning. We've kind of touched on this second place team here as well.
Yeah, put it on the screen for everybody to see. You can see all the fun data we're looking at right now. Shout out to Tim in our server.
Sure.
They have put together this fun little bot called Lab Mouse that takes data. You can put in, I think it's VR web pages. You can put in RK9 rosters, as long as they've got the team sheets and stuff like that. And it'll parse all the data for you and come out and spit out this nice little spreadsheet. Shout out to Tim for putting that together. I believe it's open for everyone to grab if they need it or want it.
It is. There are multiple servers I'm in who have said, "Hey, do we want this?" And the overwhelming majority is just, "Yes, this is awesome."
It's super simple. And so
you say that, I have no idea how it works.
It's just a lot of text parsing, dude. That's all it is.
I will take your word for it.
It's a lot of counting and a lot of text breaks. But overall, the top 8, I would say, is very diverse as compared to previous Regulation C events, right? Only 2 Palafin, only 1 actual Palafin Balance team with Tinglu and Fluttermane, Arcanine, Moongus, all that stuff. There's only one of them, and it ended up just getting beat in the first round of top 8. And so it kind of just became anybody's game to win this event and kind of put a new team on top. With Joe and this very unique Sun Team core that he's been piloting around using Torkoal, Jump Bluff, Great Tusk, and Fluttermane to kind of really put a lot of pressure on teams.
Now, I know I've seen Jump Bluff previously. Was it Joe who's been playing it?
This is the exact same team. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the exact same team. He won some online event with it before, and then he brought it to Portland, and he won it here. So
I think I saw him post about it on Twitter a while back. It might have been a couple weeks back now. Oh, let's see. Let's go to Joe's page, pull up the old media, and he won Victory Road this past weekend.
Yeah, I'm about to say there was an online event that he won with it, and that's where we talked about it a little bit, and then it came back and was like, hey, I'm gonna run it back and try to win Portland with it, and Jump Bluff actually showed up and delivered it. It was being able to set Tailwind and have Sleep Powder with Sun on a base 110 Pokemon means that unless you're Scarfed something, you're not outspeeding this Pokemon.
I'm assuming he's Sash.
I believe so.
Okay, I was gonna say if Jump Bluff is not Sash, color me surprised. But looking at this team, there could reasonably be 3 Pokemon that hold Sash, right?
Correct.
It could be Jump Bluff, it could be Xianpao, it could be Fluttermane. So if you're playing against this
Great Tusk.
Oh yeah, true. If you're playing against this on a ladder tour, you're just
who's got the Sash?
Guess we're gonna play the guessing game.
Yeah. The open sheet is available for people to look at, I'm assuming somewhere, but I'm not sure how much PokePaste works with Showdown being down, so I'm not sure if they're tied together in some way or not.
I actually don't know the answer to that.
I haven't tried to open a PokePaste since Showdown went down to replace their server, so
let's find out. I bet there's a good old PokePaste around here somewhere. Let's go VGC discussion. Why does no one have anything posted? Team building. Yeah, it works.
Okay, cool. So if you want to go look at it,
they are not actually connected.
Cool. So if you want to go look at it, you can go look at it. We're not going to really go into items or anything today. We're kind of just looking at the new mons that are creeping up at the top of the format. Great Tusk and Goldango and Gyarados all being big winners.
What's crazy is last week when Angela was on, you all talked about Jump Bluff.
Yep.
And it's literally on the thumbnail.
Yep.
And then it won an event.
Exactly.
So, not saying you all are some kind of wizard, but...
Let's see here. We talked about Gyarados. We talked about Jump Bluff. We talked about Torkoal. I'm looking through here. We mainly talked about Water, Fire, Grass combos. We talked about Bundle a lot. We talked about... I think we talked about Abomasnow just a little bit. If not, it was on my list to talk about, but we ran out of time. Because Abomasnow is hidden one of my favorite grass types this generation, just because it does so much.
And the chip damage from hail being gone is not a it's not a problem, right? Previously that would be why you were playing Abomasnow, and now it's just nah, I just want accurate blizzards.
Yeah,
that's the reason.
I want accurate blizzards and a way to change the weather. Abomasnow does that. You don't even have to run Aurora Veil on Abomasnow anymore. Bundle does it for you.
And it's faster, so now Abomasnow can live a hit.
And so now the only way they're interacting with you is Prankster or Switch In. And if they don't have their own weather setter, then you're getting an Aurora Veil up. This also means that Abomasnow can now play Assault Vest as its item with Blizzard, Energy Ball, Great Giga Drain, whatever. And the fact that you can tear away from your terrible 4x weaknesses and other weaknesses and being a grass ice type is huge for it. Shout out to Nick Navarre. I think I pronounced that right. That team is awesome. I love the Abomasnow. I love the bundle. I love the King Gambit. I'm not the biggest fan of Dragon Knight with the rest of the squad because we do have Great Tusk, but that's fine.
And what's also really cool about this event, we were kind of talking about it earlier, there's 3 weather teams here in top 8.
Yeah.
Of those, there's no rain team.
Exactly.
Of the 4 weathers, you would think that the one that like is super powered by Palafin in a format dominated by Palafin would make top. Nope.
Palafin is garbage. Say it with me. Palafin is getting booted out of this game. I cannot wait to watch Palafin just get kicked down the road and everybody forget about it.
So, like, here's the thing. Palafin's really freaking powerful. Like, there's no denying that, right?
Palafin Hero is really freaking powerful.
Correct.
There you go. That's the kicker.
Getting it set up is, like, obviously not
hard,
but it's also super predictable.
Exactly.
Like, lead Palafin, they attack that slot. Like, it's a free attack.
The saving grace of what Palafin had been doing before was it had been able to Mystic Water, Jet Punch, blow things up in 0 form. Everybody's kind of figured that out, and it's just like, well, we're not going to let you do that anymore. And so now you have to get to hero form to actually deal significant damage, or just lose your Palafin. And that kind of forces your hand into, well, I can't lead this thing unless I want it to just get blown up. So now what we're probably going to see is the return of more choice scarf sets with like flip turn, trying to outspeed people, or focus sash sets to try and survive a hit when like switch out, switch in, survive a hit, and then be able to kind of do stuff from there.
Speaking of, I don't know where I'm going with that one. I was watching TikTok earlier, and something came across my TikTok feed of like, what if every Pokemon could have any ability, right?
Oh,
like,
goodness.
Like, obviously, like, huge power is, like, busted. Pure power is busted. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. But, like, actually things that could be super, like, usable and super playable. And one that was on there was Flip Turn Swampert with Regenerator.
Yeah.
It's like, that sounds sick. I want to do that.
That sounds amazing. Let's do that. Yeah.
So that's, like, you talking about it, that's where my brain went was Flip Turn Swampert.
Oh, let's see here. Assault Vest, #1 item. Not surprised.
Not surprised. The fact that it's on, 2/3 of teams is like the surprising part. I expected that to be higher.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you want it to be higher, right? Like you expect Assault Vest to be more used because Fluttermane. Safety Goggles is the 3rd most used item. Still 60%. That's still a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, when Amoonguss is making up, honestly, only making up 40% of teams is kind of surprising. But then, there's also Jump Pluff running around now.
That's the kicker, right? There's other powders now. There's Jump Pluff. There's other stuff we have to like kind of focus on, and so Safety Goggles will probably fall a little bit as Amoonguss kind of gets pushed out of the format, maybe. Joe's Jump Pluff didn't even have Rage Powder this weekend.
Interesting.
I believe it was Tailwind, Sleep Powder, Protect, and Leaf Storm.
Really cool. I really like Leaf Storm. It's just like big damage. Like,
I hate the accuracy checks. I hate it. I hate it so much. I will play Energy Ball or Giga Drain every time. I will take the 30 to 40 less power just to make sure I hit my move.
As a man who's lost many a game because of Leaf Storm accuracy, I understand.
Let's see here.
This is why we need a petition to bring back Gigantamax Venusaur, so I can just, never miss a Leaf Storm.
Right?
I can't miss if I'm G-Max.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Ting-Lu's the 3rd most used. Not surprising there. Chi.
Yeah, I was like, if you look at this, like, the top 3 all make sense. The big one that kind of is, like, surprising here is Chi-Yu being this high.
Yeah.
Seeing how, it hasn't really been a format player for the last month or so. But also at the same time, like you and I have, like you've talked about, people are starting to adapt and like playing different things in this format. it is strange to me that Chi-Yu is popping up in popularity when Palance is the best team in the format, and like everyone knows that it's the team you need to be able to beat.
Yeah,
and like you just get one shot by Palafin. you are non-existent in bulk and just die.
Let me tell you about the new sets they've been coming up with. They've swapped to Terra Water.
Yep, that's not
They
uncommon.
are playing more HP bulk.
Mm-hmm.
They're not worried about their speed investment as much anymore, mainly because they're not outspeeding anything. They're base 100. You're not outspeeding the things like Fluttermane, Chi-Yu, Palafin. Like, you're not outspeeding those. At best, you speed tie Palafin. Like, that. Think about that for a second. Like, Palafin,
that's unfortunate.
Who doesn't invest in speed most of the time, like, you're gonna end up, all you want to do is just speed tie Palafin.
That is rather unfortunate.
Like, so you take that speed investment that you don't need anymore, put it into bulk, Terra Water, play a little bit of a bulkier set. Now Jet Punch isn't scary. Like, you don't have to worry about Jet Punch, you don't have to worry about Wave Crash, you're going to resist those hits, and you could still hit for Dark Pulse or whatever, especially if you're playing the Nasty Plot sets like I've been goofing around with. It's like you click Nasty Plot one time, they have -1 special defense already, like they're going to get bopped if Chi-Yu sits on the field for longer than a couple turns. Like, if Chi-Yu even just trades for 1 KO, it's fine. That's what
like
Chi-Yu's
at that
job
point
is.
it's done its thing. Like, I know a couple weeks back I played it for laddering, and like I think I only brought it one time, but like it was very critical for me winning that game. Like, it did literally 0 damage that game.
Yeah.
But it burnt a Dragonite, and that was good enough. Like, it had to burn that Dragonite for me to have a chance in this game, and it did. And then my opponent doubled into it, and I died. I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever, I don't care. You're not Lumberry Dragonite, who cares?
Exactly. But yeah, there was a lot of cool teams at this event. I'm very pleased to see the direction Regulation C is going now, because we could have gone the complete opposite direction and then everybody be playing Palance, and I would have been very sad because that's not a fun format for everybody.
It's going to get real tiring real quick. I think
the hurdle for people next will be trying to figure out how to beat the Dondoso team consistently.
I mean, there's 100 ways. Like, beating Dozo is something that people have been doing since the game came out.
Well, the new Dozo teams have all those special attackers that just tear through you. And
I meant specifically the Dozo part of the team.
And
like,
the Dozo team in general is what I'm talking about. Like, that very powerful special attacking core with Dozo Tatsugiri to beat up any kind of remainders it can be hard for teams to beat. Like, the team that had Murkrow, I believe they got to play the Dozo matchup, and it didn't matter. No, they didn't. Ofomazi played Joe in top 4, if I remember correct. Speaking of the third place team, Goldango, Gyarados, Murkrow, specifically Murkrow and Goldango are something we haven't really seen since like Series 1.
But, you know, I do think Goldango is like a good meta call. It lines up pretty okay against a lot of like the Palance teams. You know, you can like Terra Flying to become immune to like Fissure, so you're not being taken out that way. Like, a lot of the things that, like, you line up well against, like, your biggest problem is, like, exactly Palafin. Mm-hmm. But, like, you can probably 2 or 3 shot it, and, you know, you probably take a couple Jet Punches easily.
Yeah. Especially
plus,
if
you also have Gyarados
Water.
here. You also have Gyarados here to be able to pivot in and out, to intimidate it. You have Amoonguss to be able to redirect hits from it. I bet you probably have an okay Palafin matchup there. Plus, like, you know, obviously you have the rest of the team. But, like, being able to just, like, Terra Steel and, like, punch a Fluttermane always has felt good.
Yeah.
There's no better feeling than just OHKOing a Fluttermane.
The problem is now teams have adapted and they figured out, like, oh, I know how to beat this Gholdengo. I've done all my calcs for it.
Yeah.
Whereas in early Series 1, it was much harder to kind of gauge that because all of the Gholdengos were kind of a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like people have figured it out. It's much easier to kind of just like, oh, if I live this hit from Gholdengo, I can live all the hits from Gholdengo. And so... Unfortunately, I think Gholdengo is going to get pushed out a little bit farther, especially if Chi-Yu and Torkoal start to pick up more often. Just because like you're not hitting those Pokemon for any effective damage at all.
And like Terra Water, like Make It Rain probably still does a chunk into Torkoal, but like not enough to classify as good damage.
Yeah. Especially if Torkoals are playing like Assault Vest and things like that now.
I have Pikalytics open. Let's go do a damage calc real quick.
We talked about the Abomasnow. We haven't talked about the Screamtail Annihilate team in 5th. That team was super cool.
Eruption into Gholdengo does 200%.
Not surprised.
Heatwave does 120%.
Also not surprised. Are you any kind of bulk investment on your Gholdengo?
No, this is pure special attack, pure speed. Max special attack, this is timid. Let's change that to modest real quick. Modest specs does 47 to 56 into Torkoal.
I don't like that. That's not enough. The fact that it could be a 3-hit KO is not enough.
Let's see. Then we drop by 1, or is it 2?
1. It's -1.
It's always a 3-hit KO.
Yeah, but like since your specs
Shadow
you're
Ball's
locked
a roll.
in.
Shadow Ball's a roll to OHKO. It's 1/16 of OHKO, but it's a roll.
It's not enough, man.
Look, man, I'm really trying here. You got to work with me.
But yeah, like Gholdengo almost always wants to Terra, so it really forces your team to kind of play around that. Like you pick a lot of Pokemon that don't need to Terra as often.
Mm-hmm.
In the case of Emil's team here, it was a lot of just like very hyper offensive go kind of stuff. And so that's why you see the Murkrow Gholdengo, the Great Tusk, and the Fluttermane, and all that stuff. And then we have support pieces with Gyarados and Amoonguss both being able to kind of be good pivots and resistance checks for teams. Let's talk about the Sand team in 6th. Corviknight,
yes,
Fluttermane.
Let's talk about it.
Chomp, Bundle, Lycanroc, Midday, and then Tyranitar.
We're Midday and not Dusk?
Midday has Sandrush.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Dusk has Tough Claws.
That is correct. So this team's really interesting, man. Like, you have access to Sandvale Garchomp. It's like, that's a thing you can do. Most likely, I bet.
I'm about to say, how much you want to wager on this one?
If I was a betting man, I'd say they're probably still rough skin.
I would assume so, yes.
But I mean, the team looks super cool. Obviously, you have like your format staples of Fluttermane Bundle, and then it's just like cool Pokemon that work well together.
Yeah,
Corviknight's really interesting. I know I've played it on a couple different teams here lately. And it's annoying. It's bulky. It sits in front of things, takes hits, and makes him sad.
It doesn't take Sand Chip.
That's also important, yes.
It is a Tailwind setter that doesn't go down to sand. Also, just having that strong ground immunity is nice for your double ground weak team.
Having multiple rock types having that immunity is always really nice.
Yeah, that's a free pivot. If I remember correctly, the Tyranitar was Terra Grass, which is really cool. just resist ground, resist water, so you're not losing out a ton on like your damage rolls if you like instead of like going like Terra Ghost like you are trying to avoid fighting. You instead just like, I don't worry about ground, I don't worry about water. These are more common types for people to have. And so even though you lose the special defense from sand, you're not taking as much damage because they're not super effective or neutral hits, they are resisted hits.
Which, I mean, that in and of itself is worth a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously losing that special defense boost is not great in the face of, like, Fluttermane, but, like, also in the face of Fluttermane, you're getting rid of a weakness. So, like,
yeah,
you know, you lose bulk, but you also lose a weakness. So you technically come out ahead.
Yeah, for the most part.
That's how that works, right? Yeah, I really like this team. I know you kind of touched on it. I really like the 5th place team as well. Naked Ape is really interesting. Have it.
Naked Ape's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's fine. Not abusing Rage Fist. Like, the fact that you don't have, like, beat up to abuse Rage Fist, I think is actually good. I think it's fine.
I don't think you need it. Yeah, like...
No. Like, in the multiple games I've played with Mouse Ape, very seldomly do you actually click beat up.
Like, it's a cute gimmick to have.
Mousehold is there to take hits and make your Annihilate not take hits.
Like, the longer your Annihilate's on the field, the more damage you're going to get off and blah, blah, blah.
Correct.
It works like most pairings of attacker plus support mon, right? It's just like, this thing does a powerful thing, let's make sure it stays on the battlefield to do said thing.
It's fun. I really like Annihilate. The fact that, you know, you can be Vital Spirit or Defiant with Lum means that, like, you just kind of sit in front of Amoonguss and go, what are you doing? What are you doing over there? It'd be a shame if you got Rage Fisted.
Yeah. Moving on to common, the last place team, because this leads into my other topic about the common cores. The Palafin Balance team, right? We talked about it a lot here just a little bit ago. It's just like Palafin Balance not doing too hot. 7th and 8th place are both really close to that Palafin style of Palafin, Fluttermane, Arcanine, Amoonguss. Your very strong Fire, Water, Grass core with a very strong special attack from Fluttermane. 7th place has Chi-Yu and Bundle. 8th place has Ting-Lu and Baxcalibur. I feel like we're finally reaching the point where people have figured out how to play against it, and it's no longer just a skill diff issue. It's I know how to beat this now, so now I can just play correctly and flowchart it very well, and we end up out ahead, because part of the problem with Palafin Balance is the items were very just like locked in, so you could kind of always just figure out how I'm going to play and how I'm going to route, because with open team sheets, you see everything that you need to know. It's just like, well, this is how they're going to switch to prevent this from happening, so I just play this instead.
Yep.
And I do like the navigation away from Ting-Lu a little bit more. People have went very physical heavy on teams here as of late, and so Ting-Lu's special attack dropping ability just doesn't mean as much.
Time to start playing more Chien Paos.
Yeah, Chien Pao almost overtook Palafin for to put it out of top 8.
Pretty dang close. I know Angela was saying that Palafin didn't even make top 12 in usage on day 2.
Yeah, Palafin,
which, like, that's absurd.
Dumpstered.
When it went from, you know, like, second most popular Pokemon in the format to not even, like, played on day 2. It's kind of absurd.
Yeah. We were going to go look at the common cores here. Palafin still makes up a lot. Like, you see that Palafin Balance is still prevalent. There is a lot of that team floating around. Like, 40 teams had the Palafin, Fluttermane, Arcanine, Amoonguss. 55 teams had the Palafin, Arcanine, Amoonguss, Fluttermane core that we talked about. Like, that is the balance core. And that's 11% of the format that showed up to Portland. Like, that's still significant. but it used to have much better translations into day 2 and into Top Cut, and that's no longer the case, which is good, right? Like, I like that that's no longer the case. I hope it stays that way.
For sure.
I hope my hope is that this isn't a fluke off event that just happened to be none of the real big players brought Palafin Balance, and they went and explored other formats because they had other parts of the format because they had 2 weeks after EUIC to figure out an event and things like that. Baxcalibur is another Pokemon that's like was high on my list of this is a good Pokemon in this format, and it still kind of shows that it is a thing, having at least another top 8 finish here. Looking through the common cores, there's a 6-part Pokemon team that is pretty much a carbon copy of the 8th place team here. It's Amoonguss, Arcanine, Baxcalibur, Fluttermane, Palafin, Tinglu. Like, that's the thing. And Baxcalibur, I think, will start to work its way into other team comps now that it's just like maybe people getting used to it. But with the Chi-Yu and Torkoal being popular, I could see Baxcalibur just being like, I'm going to eat your fire type attack, and then I'm going to take out your partner, and then my partner is going to take you out and do all that nonsense.
Yep.
I think that's about all we got for Portland.
I think you're right. I think Portland was a very good event for the sake of like format diversity.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Joe finally got a win this season. Like in all actuality,
I've only been cheering for him to get a win since San Diego.
It has been a grind, man. It has been an absolute grind for him. So I'm glad he finally got his win. So I guess we have a couple other different things on the docket for tonight.
Home. We have a rumor on home. I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's fact. I don't know if anybody's confirmed it, but I have seen multiple sources say that we are getting home compatibility May 19th.
Oh, I thought I had heard 15th, but 19th makes sense.
I'm about to say that I think the 15th's a Monday.
It's a Monday, yeah.
I think they would do it on Friday before they would leave, just to make sure that they have everything ready to go. But, I don't know. I've heard the 19th multiple times, so that's kind of what I'm going with.
Let's see. Do we have an official announcement?
I don't think we've had an official announcement of anything yet. That's why I said rumor.
Yeah, the only thing that I am showing is spring 2023. So, as of now, we don't know, but there's a lot of talks of it being next week. Which is so, that kind of rolls into our next kind of topic here. We are in the process of setting up for the Littleroot Lessons Draft League again.
Not a team draft league, a Pokemon
draft league.
Correct. Let's specify
Pokemon
that right now.
League.
We are not going back to team draft leagues anytime soon.
No. But I know that these have been very popular in the past. Bringing them back hopefully will bring back a lot of the like formerly active people in the Discord, get a lot of hype and such revived for it, and it all depends on what Pokemon get added. Like the rest of the tier list is kind of set.
Yeah,
it was kind of like set in motion, but it really just depends on what else we can bring into home as to be like
what gets added to the board.
Yeah, obviously, we're gonna have Hisuian forms. We have no idea how balanced they are because
we haven't played with them yet.
I'm expecting Pokemon like Avalugg to not be very good.
Yeah, I expect like Ursaluna to be way up near the top. Same thing with like Sneasler, maybe Cleavor.
If they don't change Sneasler's move, I'm gonna be so confused with like their life choices.
We might have to add some Pokemon like Sneasler to the ban list.
So right now, the ban list includes Paradox Pokemon
and Ruinous Pokemon.
Yeah, and the.
And,
so we're
and
going
the
back
box
to
legends.
we're going back to Series 1, baby.
Yeah, well, we've talked it over, and we're kind of looking at it. The Paradox Pokemon are very polarizing. There's certain Paradox that would probably be fine in a Draft League format. Think like Slitherwing, Iron Tread, Scream Tail, stuff of that nature. We could allow those and be fine. But there's other offenders like Fluttermane.
Then there's two that really stick out as being absolutely obnoxious.
Fluttermane Bundle.
We're not saying that we're banning all of them because of this, but I do think by removing those, it does make the rest of them better, and as a result, like, better than some of the other things in the format because of it. And I just don't want there to be, like, a balance issue because we're allowing most of them.
Yeah, and so we
had talked about like
a bunch of different ways to go about it.
Oh, we debated on this for like 3 or 4 different days, like what we even wanted to do. It's like, well, do we ban just those two? Do we ban all of them? Do we allow everything but ban like booster energy?
Yeah.
So then it was like, well, we could allow everything but ban booster from exactly like Bundle and Fluttermane. It's like, that's really freaking complicated for the sake of like, no, like, it's like, then if you're doing stuff like that, then like Iron Moth becomes like the fastest thing. It's like, that seems really obnoxious too, and I don't want to deal with that. It's just like, and like,
we might change our minds here in a week or two down the road when we get to the finalization of a tier list. Nothing's set 100% in stone. The current tentative plan is no Paradox, no Ruins, no Box Legends.
I do think, just for like format balance sake, I think banning the Ruinous Pokemon regardless is probably for the best.
Yeah, the Ruinous and the Box Legends are not coming off that list.
There's no debate. We're not allowing them. Strictly because there's 4 of them, and divisions are going to be 16 people.
Yeah.
And
that was another big thing is like the Paradox Pokemon, there's only 14. If you don't count like Walking Wake and Iron Leaves.
14, yeah.
And there's a slew of them that are better than others.
Yeah. So it's like, it's probably best if like we just
take them out.
Don't. And so I think as of now that's going to be the plan. Obviously we're going to get some new Pokemon coming in from home. We don't know what.
All of the Pokemon that have been like the special raids, Inteleon, Typhlosion, all of those are going to be available for the draft, mainly because they're just available. I'm not sure if we don't get home by the time the draft happens. I'm not sure if we'll allow Hisuian, Zoroark, and Zorua or not.
Yes,
that might get banned just based on availability issues.
So the tentative plan, I think, as of now, is probably starting early June.
Yeah.
That gives people plenty of time to actually get Mons acquired from home if they don't have them already. Get things bred and etc. etc. If home integration doesn't happen before then, we're probably just gonna run with Series 1 Plus.
So like our drafts aren't happening probably till early June, and our games won't start until probably mid-June.
Yep.
We're gonna wait till at least through May to let everybody get signed up, see if home happens. If home happens, we'll update our tier list that we're working on and get it all ready to go. If home doesn't happen, then we'll just leave it as what we got. And as of whatever June 1st, whatever Pokemon are available to everyone in via the game, that's what our list will be.
And once we actually know about the home integration, we will so if it does happen the 19th, we will know that weekend what all is accessible to us via home.
Yep.
Which then means that we can have a finalized draft board
pretty quickly.
Hopefully probably the week of the 22nd, which means that we'll have it published for over a week before we have signups cut off and
start getting drafts started. Yeah.
So
we're hoping this goes off without a hitch.
It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get a lot of people. Last draft league, actual Pokemon League event, I think we had 4 divisions 16, or we had enough for 4 divisions 16 with 64 people or something like that.
That sounds correct.
We'll do as many as we can get.
I'm anticipating a little more than that.
Yeah, we'll do as many as we can handle as long as divisions are fine. If we somehow have more than...
We may need some extra help running, divisions.
Yeah.
So...
If we somehow reach more than a couple, 3 or 4 divisions, then we'll definitely start looking for outside help.
To help just, organize and help run their divisions. It's hey, this person's the head of this division. Any problems, report to them. And then they will report to us.
Yep.
And then we'll make
just report to them. They report to us, and it goes up the pipeline and back down the pipeline.
If it's a simple ruling of hey, they didn't want to start. Something changed between. I don't know. They swap teams in between games or something. That's a pretty simple fix. It's just you lose.
Yeah,
good day.
You just lose. Sorry, you cheated. Sorry, that's just how it is.
And of course, we'll have an official doc and everything for people to read and go over the rules and just have everything finalized. I'm sure we have the one from the last draft league that we can just go in and update.
Yep.
But yeah, it is as of now going to be. Like we talked about, a tiered draft. S through D tiers, most likely.
Probably D. With the Paradox Pokemon not being allowed, we might only do S through C because we'll just see. True. We'll see. Right now, it's full tiered. We're looking at a couple of different options with tiered draft in general. Probably looking at either full points-based tier drafting or mixed tier drafting, which is you draft X amount of a certain tier specifically, and then you have 4 flex spots to kind of move around and kind of change how your team wants to look and things like that.
Use points based on have S tier worth 25 points, and you have 50 points to build out 4 slots in your team or whatever.
Exactly.
So
you could draft 1 S.
If
2
anyone
Bs
has
and a C.
feedback. Yeah, if anyone has feedback of what they have a preference for, if it being, fully tiered 20 through 1 points, and you have X points to build a team, or if you would prefer this mixed tiered where things are worth so many points, but you have to have so many of each tier first. Any feedback of what people would like. Obviously, we are always open to hear, especially since we still have a month before we officially launch anything.
Exactly. That's why we're getting this out now.
Any feedback? Yep. Start getting people's interest now, and so then when things actually do go live, everything's hunky dory. Everyone is okay with the rules, and we're ready to rock and roll.
Yep.
Personally, I like the 20 tiered system. And people have to keep track of their points. I really enjoy that kind of drafting. I also understand it is a little more complicated than, S through C. You have to have 5 Pokemon, and then you can pick 5 more or whatever.
I like things that are simple and idiot-proof. And telling people, hey, you get to pick 1 S, 1 A, 2 B's, and 2 C's, and then the rest is all free for all. People can follow that, and they'll understand, I have met this quota. I can now start doing this. And I do not want to deal with the people who can't do math.
So,
it's also harder for Esther to code that.
Very true.
Esther
very,
would have
very
to
true.
track their points based on what they draft, and the bot would have to keep track and know what's going on. Whereas it's just like a simple, you could follow along on the page and understand it better.
Esther, please don't hate us.
Yeah, that's part of why I'm like, I don't want to do 20 different tiers and all that jazz. Like, no. One, that's hard on us. Two, it's hard on Esther.
We don't care about anyone else's opinion other than Esther.
Yeah. She's the one who codes the
We want to
bot.
make her life easy.
Her job as easy as possible.
So if your name is Esther, please leave us feedback as to what you would like to do. We had the RTT draft for Season 7 this last few days. It actually finished up today. And a couple different players didn't realize we were drafting with 110 points. And instead drafted with 100. So there's a couple different teams who have exactly 10 points left on the board.
Well.
Oops.
Someone didn't read.
And I get it. I think the last couple seasons we've had it. I think season 4, the one that I won, I think it was 120.
I don't know.
And season 5 we cut it down to 110. I don't know. That was 3.5 seasons ago.
Yeah. I have been watching from the sidelines for RTTs since season 4. And the first SV1, I'm like, this board is way overpowered for RTT. There's definitely going to be a team.
There's a reason I set out, yeah. I know, talking just through the Pokemon that I believe were legal in last season. I think Arboliva was legal.
Espathra
was legal.
Flamigo
was legal.
Yep.
Which, man.
the Espathra and the Flamigo were the two ones that was just they shouldn't be on this board. They should not be allowed. They are very good.
Unfortunately, with the change of power level, Morgrim got banned this season, and I am so upset by it.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
I understand why, but it also has been on, I think, every RTT team I've ever drafted.
Impidimp was there. You could have taken Impidimp.
I don't think Impidimp gets screens.
It doesn't.
Yeah, so it doesn't get to do Morgrim things.
Yeah, it's fine.
It also doesn't get Spirit Break.
I don't think any of them but Grimmsnarl gets Spirit Break. It's an Evo. It's an Evo move.
I was getting ready to go check on Showdown.
And we've come full circle, folks. Showdown's down and Carter can't check stuff.
So that means until proven otherwise, I'm correct.
There's more than one way to check.
No one's going to check, Carl.
I am right now.
Nope, didn't happen.
Let's find Morgrim.
So yeah, I'm actually really excited for RTT this season. My draft strategy was, hey, the Dunsparce is legal. I want to do things with that. That was literally my draft strategy going in, and
Morgrim
my team's really cool.
Does not get Spirit Break.
Did it previously?
No, it is an Evo move for Grimmsnarl.
Okay, I stand corrected. I thought, what was I doing with it then? Was it just Fake Out?
Fake Out, Screen, Sucker Punch, Foul Play.
Sucker Punch, that's what it was.
Swagger.
Sucker Punch, yep. So we have... I was thinking about doing a whole video breakdown of the team and the draft process and everything.
Impidimp does get the screens now.
Did it in...
I don't know if it did in Sword and Shield, but it does get it in Scarlet and Violet.
Interesting. Okay. Still not very good.
Also has access to Parting Shot.
Very cool.
Because Egg
very,
move.
very cool. Yep.
Man, Thunderwave 2. Okay, Impotent might actually be good. You might need to go trade something and get Impotent.
Do I need to drop Jigglypuff or Impotent?
If Impotent is 3 points, you might need to go pick up Impotent.
Well, see, the problem is if I drop Jigglypuff, I know it's getting picked up. Because as soon as I drafted it, one of the guys messaged me. He's like, tagged me on Discord. He's like, I was pretty good about not being sniped until you drafted Jigglypuff.
Is there any other low point Pokemon that you can drop for Impotent? Because this actually might be worth it.
Let's see. Where is Impotent? That's the question. Impotent is 9 points?
Yeah, I'm about to say Impotent probably should be expensive.
9?
Yep, that sounds about right.
I could drop Clodsire or Dreadnought.
Or you could drop Toxtricity and then pick up something else.
You're not incorrect. I could drop Toxtricity, but everything above there is one Pokemon above 16 points that wasn't drafted.
Oof.
It was Honchkrow. Honchkrow is the only 16 plus pointer that wasn't drafted.
Not surprised.
I thought about it. I really did. I think it's an interesting Pokemon, especially in a limited,
in the lower powered format, yeah.
Like Moxie Honchkrow probably goes hard.
Probably.
Especially paired with Electrode to be able to screech things, pick up you get 1 KO and then Honchkrow's off to the races.
Probably.
You have Thunderwave for control. I need to drop Toxtricity.
Wait, so if you drop Toxtricity and
pick up Honchkrow,
that leaves you 3 points extra.
Uh-huh.
That means you can drop a 6-pointer or a 7-pointer to pick up Impotent.
I could drop Hypno for Impotent. I don't think that's very good. I think if I'm going to do that, I'm dropping Sliggoo for Impotent.
I'm about to say Sliggoo is probably the one you drop for Impotent.
But then both my fairies require Sash. I can never bring Impotent and Jigglypuff.
I mean, they both do different things, so it's just it depends on what team you want to build.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Impotent gets to move first anyway. Screens.
True.
Prankster Screens is much better than you think it is.
No, trust me, I'm very aware how good it is.
Carter might be doing some changes before the week 1.
Dude, I've never actually made a change to my roster before the season started.
I would hard consider
I'm
it.
thinking about it.
Well, while you
Honchkrow
think about
seems
it,
really good on my team.
While you think about it, let's get on out of here.
Yeah, but I'm still thinking.
No, we gotta get out of here.
I need to go to bed.
Nah, sleeps for the week.
It's bedtime. Dude, you're telling me. I worked 13 and a half hours yesterday. I drove home and then went to bed. That was my day yesterday. It was miserable.
We had graduations at UCM this past weekend, so work has been insane. Not to mention my boss was gone because his daughter was graduating, so he's been off since Thursday last week. He comes back today as of upload. So it's been a long weekend.
Well, just think, I might be able to come harass you at work now because I'm changing routes.
Oh boy!
So I might be able to come see you on lunch.
Works for me. I'll be there.
All right, I think it's time to get out of here.
Yep.
I do want to add one little announcement here at the end of the episode. We now have server subscriptions turned on Discord. So if you are interested in supporting us, you can do so over on Discord now. I've got the tiers as close as possible as I can to the Patreon. And you get all the same bonuses as the Patreon as well. So if you're interested in supporting us, by all means, it is just another way of actually doing so. You get all the same bonuses, and we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So that being said, I do think it is officially time to get out of here. So
yes.
As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're listening over on YouTube. We talked about wanting feedback on the draft board and everything, so make sure you comment down below what you want to do and why your idea is better than everyone else's. Dude, people get so opinionated when it comes to draft stuff. I don't get it. People are opinionated about a lot of things.
That is true.
But you can always go ahead and follow us over on Twitter as well. That is LR Lessons. You can follow us over. Let's see. No, Carl and I are both on Twitter as well. There we go. Let's get back on page here. That is at Mr. Missouri 25 and Carl is at Musical VGC. Carl and I are both on Twitch as well. You can follow us over there at Mr. Missouri 25 and at Musical. Like I said, come and join the community Discord. It's awesome. That's where everything related to the draft league is going to be. So if that is something of interest to you, you literally have to be there.
Yep.
It's the only way to do anything. Yep. So it's awesome. And just because you had to be a part of the Discord to be in the draft league doesn't mean you had to be a sub to it. You can just come hang out. It's a fun time. Past that, you can go ahead and head on over to the website at lrlessons.com. You can check out all the stuff we have listed on there, as well as currently still Teespring for some reason, because we haven't been able to get everything transferred over yet. But if you want to pick out some sweet merch, you can do so over at Teespring and then get it 6 months from now. And as always, want to give a special shout out to our $10 and up patrons. You can do that. You can join the elite group of gamers here over at patreon.com. Special shout outs to Johnny Bravo Sr. and Papa Swish as always. So I think that's it. I think we're leaving. I think we're getting out of here for the week.
You got everything. That's it.
All right. It took me a minute to get there. I took 1 week off and I lost my...
Yep, lost just out in one ear and out the other. Gone.
Only done it 160 times and I don't remember it.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much as always. And until next week, have a good one. Peace.